Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to the BBC, Man United are edging towards a deal with Real Madrid defender Rafael Varane after more positive talks over the weekend. Rafael Varane agrees personal terms with Man United. Fabrizio Romano has come out and said, "Here we go." He says an agreement is almost done between Manchester United and Real Madrid for Varane. Just some paperwork needs to be finalised. The Athletic said earlier on today that Man United are in advanced talks with Real Madrid for Rafael Varane, and Man United are increasingly confident of signing Varane. I think we're going to get him for between €45 million and €50 million. So yeah, it's looking very imminent that Varane is going to be our second major signing of this summer transfer window. Varane has definitely decided to leave Real Madrid. He notified Real Madrid not so long ago that he wants to join Manchester United this summer. I think Varane is going to be signing a 5-year contract, so that will keep him at the club until 2026. We went in for Varane back in 2011. We also went in for him back in 2018 because Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. Real Madrid offered Varane a renewal contract offer, but he rejected it. Varane's current contract at Real Madrid expires next year. He was a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He endured 10 years with them. He made 360 appearances in all competitions and he won a lot of trophies, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree as a player. He won the World Cup with France back in 2018. He's been capped 79 times. Real Madrid got Varane from Lens back in 2011. But he will exceed expectations in the Premier League. What a centre-back partnership that's going to be, Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane, because they'll complement each other very well in our back line. Not so long ago, Real Madrid lost Sergio Ramos. He joined PSG on a free transfer. Varane is 28 years of age, so he has still got quite a lot of development in him. Who are Manchester United going to sign after Rafael Varane? Now it actually says we want Jules Koundé from Sevilla in addition to Varane. There's been quite a lot of midfielders on our agenda. We've been linked with Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Man United have put a bid in for him. He says we think we can sign Saul Niguez for just £45 million. Mundo Deportivo said the other week that Man United were in advanced talks with Saul Niguez's agent. And it said Man United are the front runners. Not so long ago, Solskjaer called Saul Niguez. So reflecting on that fueled speculation. Saul Niguez wants to make a move to the Premier League. At one point, Barcelona were in talks with Atletico Madrid over a swap deal involving Griezmann and Saul Niguez. Liverpool have been in for him as well. Niguez has a 129 million release clause. He's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. Because back in 2017 he signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. Being a long-serving player at Atletico Madrid, he's endured 13 years or so with them. He's risen up their academy. Niguez can be deployed as a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder. We're obviously trying to get Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes. Reports said last week that Man United were leading Arsenal in the race to sign Ruben Neves from Wolves. He said Wolves are willing to sell Ruben Neves for £35 million. I'd take Ruben Neves at Man United because he's been superb for Wolves and he's proven in the Premier League that's beneficial. I don't think Wolves would want to lose Ruben Neves though, because they lost Matt Doherty to Tottenham and they lost Diego Jota to Liverpool last year. And Wolves haven't been the same team since they lost Jota. Ruben Neves has got a contract with Wolves until 2024. He's made 151 appearances in the Premier League for Wolves. Wolves paid 15.8 million for him from Porto, was it back in 2017. Declan Rice, we tried to get him from West Ham. The last time I read up it said West Ham don't want to sell him, and if they are to consider selling him they'd want £100 million and he isn't worth that. A while ago now, Declan Rice rejected 2 contract offers at West Ham. And Leon Goretzka, Man United are also in for him. But I've got to say, Man United are enjoying a good summer transfer window. You know, because obviously we brought Tom Heaton in on a free transfer from Aston Villa. We brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund. We confirmed the signing of Jadon Sancho last Friday. Sancho signed a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Sancho's going to be wearing the number 25 shirt. Jadon Sancho is the second most expensive English player of all time. And we are on the verge of signing Raphael Varane from Real Madrid. It's about time Solskjaer got the players he wants to recommend in, you know, because he wasn't backed enough for such a long time. This summer transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Solskjaer does want to make around 4 signings in this summer transfer window. He has identified the areas already in the squad where he wants to strengthen up. Before the summer transfer window opened, he said Ole had been given a 150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. But we're not only going to focus on the incomings in this summer transfer window, we're also going to focus on the outgoings as well. Like I said, there's a good chance that we're going to loan Brandon Williams out to gain him more experience and to get him a lot more opportunities. Because Williams is our 3rd choice left back, he seldom plays for us. We could offload Tellez in this summer transfer window. He has been subjected to transfer speculation recently. It said not so long ago that Inter Milan want Tellez on loan, and Sky Sports in Italy said the other week that Roma were in talks to sign Alex Tellez. as a replacement for the injured Leonardo Spinazzola. Telles has only made 9 appearances in the Premier League. When we got him last year, I expected him to be our first choice left back immediately. We got Telles for 15.4 million from Porto when he's under contract with Man United until 2024. Phil Jones, we need to offload him in this summer transfer window. We have agreed to let Axel Tuanzebe go. Diego Dalot, I presume he'll be leaving. He was out on loan with AC Milan last season. Andres Pereira, I'm expecting us to offload him. He was out on loan with Lazio last season. You know, Paul Pogba, he could still leave the club in this summer transfer window. PSG want Paul Pogba. It recently said that Man United are expecting a Paul Pogba bid from PSG. He said we're expecting PSG to make their move for Pogba before the transfer window shuts. PSG are confident that £43 million will be enough to get Pogba because PSG have held talks with Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola. Not so long ago though, was it last week, it said Pogba was discussing the personal terms with PSG. At that point though, it said PSG had made no formal contact with Man United regarding Pogba. And Tuto Mercato Web said that Man United is set to receive a €60 million bid from PSG for Pogba. PSG want to partner Pogba alongside Wijnaldum in their midfield. And Foot Mercato said a few weeks ago that Pogba wants to join PSG this summer. Paul Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next year because last season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Now, not so long ago, Paul Pogba rejected a new £50 million contract offer at Manchester United, so reflecting on that, he's set to leave. Sky Sports said that Paul Pogba is increasingly unlikely to sign a new Man United contract. Ole did recently say that Man United still remain in talks with Pogba's representatives over a new contract. A new contract for Pogba at Man United though could see him stay at the club for the rest of his career. He's an imperative player. I want him to stay for next season. If we are to let him go in this summer transfer window, we need to get a good adequate replacement for him. Pogba's enjoyed a lot of bad periods at Man United. He's enjoyed his good periods as well. Pogba produced his best performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. But if Pogba's to leave, I think he'll go to PSG. But he's had a long running transfer saga, you know. He's not only been linked to PSG, Real Madrid have been linked with him. His former club Juventus have been in for him. He had 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Barcelona have been in for him and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Mino Raiola has obviously been desperate to get Paul Pogba out of the football club. Did a lot of talking last season. Pogba's enjoyed 5 seasons at Man United since he rejoined. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. So there you go. I initially thought Anthony Martial, Donny van de Beek, Matic, Lingard and De Gea were going to be leaving, but it looks like now they're going to be staying at Man United for next season. Solskjaer did recently hint that Martial and Lingard will have a role to play for next season. But we've got a good squad. Now, with obviously Jadon Sancho here, the squad will be even better when Varane to Manchester United is official. The squad was still decent, obviously, without Sancho and Varane, but it's going to be even better now. You know, we've got a good goalkeeper in Dean Henderson. I hope he's our number one for next season, because he's reliable enough to be our number one. Well, it said not so long ago that Solskjaer's chosen Dean Henderson to be our number one for next season. Some United fans still prefer De Gea. Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him because he had 2 loans with Sheffield United and he's had other loan spells before, and before the start of last season Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with the club, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to Man United. You know, I think David De Gea is a very good goalkeeper, despite him making a lot of mistakes in the last couple of years. Like I said, it looks like De Gea is going to be staying at Man United now, because not so long ago it said that De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for a starting place. Now, it said the other week that De Gea could be loaned out by Man United next season to make room in the goalkeeping department. It said De Gea was set for talks with Solskjaer over his future after the Euros. Obviously, it's after the Euros now. But De Gea said he's determined to fight for his future. David De Gea has been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's been long servant at Man United. He's enjoyed 10 years at the club, and like I've said before, he's had 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us. But he has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He was our number one for such a long time. De Gea is on £375,000 a week at Man United. But if we was to sell him in this summer transfer window, we'd get from between £40 to £50 million. If we sold him in January, I reckon we'd still get from between £40 to £50 million, and maybe even next summer as well. Luke Shaw, he's really, really good as well. Luke Shaw did well for England during the tournament. I thought he was definitely our best player last season. Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that Man United are in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. I think Shaw's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at Man United. Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez. And I reckon Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been long servant, he's enjoyed over 7 years now at the club. I think Eric Bailly is a decent centre-half, but my element of concern about Eric Bailly is too injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Towards the end of last season, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024, there's an option of a further year. Eric Bailly has been with us now over 5 years. We paid £30 million for him from Villarreal back in 2016. Harry Maguire is pretty decent. I thought he did very well for England during the tournament. He was obviously a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he had ligament damage in his ankle. It was a serious injury, that. Maguire's had his good games at Man United. He's also had his bad games. But we did overpay for him. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. And Wan-Bissaka, he's really improved as well. Defensively, he's always been superb, but he's certainly got to show more attacking intent. He's one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville, I've got to be honest. We paid £50 million for Wan-Bissaka. I think McTominay is a decent player, and he certainly needs more time at the club. He's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. McTominay's still young, he's got a lot of development in him. Just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a 5-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Paul Pogba, he's a decent player as well. He's improved, like I've said. Fred, he can be good when he wants to be. Bruno Fernandes, he's also very, very good as well. Bruno Fernandes is one of our best players, and I've got to be honest, he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. He's made the difference in the team, hasn't he? Fernandes has been with us now over a year and a half, is it? Analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been very consistent. But there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. But let's be honest, we have overplayed him. Fernandes won Player of the Year, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fabrizio Romano said a few weeks ago now that Man United are looking at a new contract for Bruno Fernandes. Towards the end of last season, it said we was willing to double Bruno Fernandes' wages to £200,000 a week. Fernandes' current contract expires in 2025. There's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Fernandes predominantly plays as a number 10. Jadon Sancho, I think he's going to be good for us. I can't have a perception on him yet because he hasn't played and it's not started yet the new season. Mason Greenwood, I think he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad, despite him going a long period without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7. So he's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. And last season, Mason Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract with the club. Was it before the start of last season? Greenwood had been given that number 11 shirt. You can play Greenwood on the right. You can also play Greenwood up top. Edison Cavani, he's also made an impact since he's come in. I'm glad Cavani is staying for next season. Fabrizio Romano said towards the end of last season that Cavani agreed a 1-year contract. Marcus Rashford, he's good when he wants to be. But there's certainly aspects of his game that I've got to improve because Marcus Rashford has endured his bad periods at Man United and he's become injury prone. That's a concern as well. Rashford, I think, is out until October because he had a shoulder injury and he decided to undergo surgery on his shoulder. But he's going to be a miss. We need to keep Marcus Rashford out on that left-hand side because that's where he seems to be more effective. So there you go. There's some players though that are not good enough to represent the club. Martial isn't good enough. I want us to offload him in this summer transfer window, but I don't think we're gonna. Report said the other week he's going to be staying now. I definitely want us to offload Lingard. He isn't good enough. Matic, we need to offload him. He isn't good enough. We certainly need to offload Victor Lindelof. He isn't good enough. We need to offload Fred. I don't think he's good enough. Donny van der Beek, I think we need to offload him. Nothing to do with him being a bad player. It's just that he doesn't get enough opportunities at Manchester United, which is a shame. Van der Beek was a very good player when he was at Ajax. Alex Telles, like I've already said, he needs to be offloaded. Nothing to do with him being a bad player, just doesn't get enough opportunities at Man United. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.